It is true that lions have solid memories and can remember individuals who have helped or treated them kindly. This is especially true regarding their caregivers, who often bond closely with the humans caring for them. Lions have a social structure similar to humans, with complex relationships and communication patterns. They are known for their strong bonds with their pride members and can show affection and gratitude towards those who have helped them. In today's video, we'll share a story about a Ukrainian man named Alex who rescued a lioness and her cubs. They likely developed a strong bond with their caregiver and were grateful for the help he provided. They may have even recognized him as a pride member and treated him with the same respect and loyalty they would show to their kin. However, it is essential to remember that lions are still wild animals and must be treated with caution and respect. While they may form close bonds with their caregivers, they must always respect their boundaries and follow proper safety protocols when interacting with them. Initially born in Ukraine, Alex lived in one of the South African wildlife parks for most of his life. The veterinary loved nature and the wild feeling that the plains of the Serengeti gave him when he would track over them. The truck behind some rocks a short distance away was a female lion. He had never been so close to one in the wild before, and the sheer size of the beast amazed him. At first, he panicked and began to level his gun at the animal as he was sure the lioness would try to attack him, but all she did was growl at him. That's when Alex noticed a problem. The lioness was not attacking him because she couldn't. It turned out that her foot had gotten caught in a trap, and she could not move more than a few feet before because it became too painful for her. Alex was relieved that he was still safe, and horrified that such a beautiful animal had been trapped in such an inhumane way. It looked like the work of poachers, who doubtlessly would be back to finish the lion off. Alex was upset at the idea that the feline would be killed for money, and he knew that he had to do something to help her. He tried to edge closer to Lioness to see if he could get close enough to the trap to set her free. Still, as he got closer, the frightened animal reared at him and swiped out with one of her massive paws. Alex quickly threw himself back out of her reach and into the safety he had managed to escape. Still, he knew Lioness wouldn't allow him anywhere near her. Thanks to his experience with wild animals, Alex had noticed another problem. When the lioness had swiped at him, he had seen her belly, specifically her teats, swollen and laden with milk. This means that the lioness had cubs nearby who wouldn't be able to survive long without her. With this new development, Alex knew that he had to act fast. If the cubs were left alone for too long, they could starve to death or die of thirst. Worse still, another predator could find them and kill them as they could not defend themselves. With the lioness still tied up and unwilling to let Alex close to her, the kind-hearted man only had one choice left. He would have to find the cubs and return them to the lioness. Luckily, Alex knew that they couldn't be too far away. He searched around until he came across some tracks. He rolled the tracks a short distance from the mom lioness until he began hearing a few mules. He followed the mules to some long growths, where he found 3 small cubs hidden amongst it all, calling for their mother. Alex quickly collected the cubs and walked back toward the trapped lioness. Upon seeing her cubs, the lioness roared again while trying to tear herself free of the trap. Alex was nervous as he didn't want to upset the mother in such a frenzy that she would kill herself, so he gently laid the cubs down one by one on the ground. The lion cubs began calling out again and slowly made their way over to their mama. The entire time they walked, Alex was talking to the lioness in a calm and soothing manner, reassuring her that he did not want to hurt her and that he was actually trying to help her. Upon seeing that he wasn't a danger, the lioness calmed down as she saw her babies finally make their way over to her. She laid down and allowed them to get some milk. Alex watched from a safe distance as the family reunited once again. He was glad he could bring the cubs to the safety of their mother once more, but he still had the problem of how he would get the lioness free. Alex sat a short distance from the lioness for a while and reassuringly spoke to her. He had no clue just how long the lioness had been trapped, but he realized that she must have been hungry as she still had to produce milk for her cubs, assuring the mama big cat that he would be back. Alex quickly returned to his truck and drove around the area until he found a zebra carcass. Although the animal had very little meat left on it, he knew it would be enough to give the lioness the little strength back. The brave man cut a large chunk of meat off the diseased animal and headed back to the lioness and her cubs. Upon his return, the lioness wasn't as hostile as she had been previously. In fact, she seemed pretty eager to see the man again, especially as he was carrying a large chunk of meat for her to eat. Alex watched as the feline licked her lips and smiled knowingly. He spoke gently to the animal before giving her the meat. The lioness hesitantly got up and sniffed the meat before digging into a meal. While a lioness was distracted, Alex saw this as his moment. He slowly and cautiously approached the lioness and quickly shot her with a tranquilizer to sedate her before the meds kicked in. He loosened her paw from the trap and tried to lure the lioness into the back of his truck, where he had already placed 3 cubs in a kennel. So focused on his task, Alex failed to notice that the lioness had stopped eating and had gotten within a couple of feet of him as a shadow fell over him. Alex slowly looked up to see the lioness inches away, but instead of getting angry and attacking, the lioness stood there. The lioness was hurt and couldn't walk properly. Alex wanted to get her into the back of the truck before she was out cold and gave her a little nudge. She approached Alex and began to run her head against him, much as a house cat would do. Once the lioness was in the truck, Alex tied her down and drove as quickly as he could to the reserve where he lived. As Alex drove away, he couldn't help but feel amazed at what just happened at the reserve. He and the other workers nursed the injured lioness back to the health and took care of the cubs. During that time, the lioness and her cubs bonded more and more with Alex. After a few months, it was time to bring the lion family back to the wild. Before they parted ways, the lioness cuddled with Alex one last time as they had grown fond of him. A few years passed without Alex not seeing any of the lioness that he had helped save that fateful day. Then during the day, he came across an amazing sight. A pride of lions was lazing around under the tree he had once used to himself to have lunch. As he came to a stop a short distance away from the animals, one of the lionesses lifted his head and looked at him. Upon seeing the man, the animal quickly got up and swiftly walked towards him. At first, Alex was nervous as he didn't want to be attacked by a big cat, but as the feline got closer, he realized he knew him. It was one of the cubs he had saved many years before. Alex was amazed that he had come across him and even more shocked that the lion seemed to remember him. Once the lion was close enough, he began to nudge his head against Alex, much like his mother had done years beforehand. Alex laughed and cautiously stroked the beast's fur before the animal withdrew and returned to this pride. Alex couldn't be happier that the cub remembered him and what he had done for his family. Knowing not to overstay his welcome, Alex turned his car around and returned home. Yeah, that's all. Let us know in the comments how you find this story, and if you want to watch such stories on our channel, because we keep telling stories on our channel. If you're going to watch such stories in the coming day, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when our next video goes live. See you in the next episode. Take care and have fun.